Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Everybody, and welcome to another Sports podcast. I'm Joel Anderson.
I'm Jordan Pomaville.
And joining us, as always, is the sports outsider, Phil Ranta.
Hey, this is Phil. I'm a sports outsider because I don't know anything about sports.
The rant dog.
Yeah.
The rant man. The king of rant.
I didn't like the pose he was making there when he was introducing himself as the... You guys can't see this. He was putting his fist beneath his chin and real smugly explaining.
Yeah.
I am a very smug person.
That's why you're the rant man.
That's why Joel will let me date his sister.
That's not the reason why.
No, it is. He said right before the podcast that he would totally let me date his sister.
I thought it was
I think in case my sister's listening, we should point out that I didn't say that I would let you date my sister.
Right.
I said you could.
Right.
But, I mean, I think my sister would be very upset if there was any implication that I had any say over who she dated.
Hi, Joel's sister. This is Phil, the sports outsider.
She's not listening to this, by the way.
I believe she's a sports outsider, too.
Ooh.
Not really. She really likes hockey.
Ah, that's not a real sport.
Phil really likes
There's your in,
hockey.
Phil.
There it is. Ha-ha, look out.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update.
Alert. Tim Tebow, update, watch, update, alert. Brought to you by...
Mentos, feel the rush in your mouth. Alert.
Pay attention.
Yeah, it's the alert.
Hey, no,
Joel.
it's the middle drop is obviously
right.
getting a little confused by the change of... That drop has always been the same drop.
That's
There's a
fair.
certain rhythm to it. I'll talk to that guy.
All right.
Yeah, punch him in the nose.
Yeah.
Let him
I'm not
date your
gonna.
sister.
I'm not gonna listen. He's going through a tough time. Okay.
Right.
You know his wife left him.
Oh.
Yeah. So so his job is really important to him right now. Doing the middle portion of our Tim Tebow update. Watch update.
You don't have Tim Tebow to kick around anymore.
Oh, speaking of people going through a tough time.
Yeah, the Patriots released Tim Tebow this past Saturday before the 6 p.m. deadline to get the roster down to 53 players.
Well, this is great. We can get rid of our middle drop guy now because we don't need him.
Yeah,
that's
no,
great.
guys.
No, we can get rid of him now because
we
Tim
can't
Tebow update,
fire
watch update.
Roy. He's not in a place to handle it right now.
I think, what better time?
Yeah, exactly. It's get all your hits at once so you can rebuild anew.
You know, and this might not be the last we've heard from Tim Tebow. He was signed with the Patriots in June. He struggled to find consistency.
Canadian football, arena football.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Don't jump the gun. He completed only 11 of 30 passes for 145 yards with 2 touchdowns.
Is 11 of 30, is that good?
11 of 30, not good. If you're a baseball player.
That's great.
2 interceptions in 3 games. He also ran 16 times for 91 yards. That ain't bad.
That is not bad at
Yeah,
all.
he's a runner.
That's
He was benched in Game 3 of the preseason, but had a chance against the New York Giants in preseason Game 4. He went 6 of 11 for 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 4 sacks.
but that was all of his touchdowns for
Yeah.
all of his touchdowns for the preseason.
Sacks aren't his fault, though, right? Those are the blockers that are supposed to block him.
But
He's a Dancy
team effort.
quick feet, you know?
Yeah.
He's Irish.
Also,
Very.
the quarterback's expected to, if you hold on to the ball too long, you're going to get sacked. And if the quarterback's not making his reads fast enough and holding on to the ball too long, then it's the quarterback's fault more than the offensive line.
Tim Tebow's Twitter said, I would like to thank Mr. Kraft, Coach Belichick, Coach McDaniels, and the entire Patriots organization for giving me this opportunity. Sounds like someone forgot to thank a little Jewish carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Tim.
He was
not
supposed
good.
to thank Carpenter Shlomo Schlamstein.
No, I don't think that's
Is that the Jewish carpenter?
No,
He's my
no,
carpenter.
No.
Yeah.
It's odd that you actually
Shlomo
have a Jewish
Schlamstein,
carpenter.
yes,
Right.
carpenter to the stars.
Yeah, exactly. He's a
He's
big LA
generally
carpenter.
a very Gentile position. I wanted to know. A very Gentile job. Not many Jews in the carpentry field anymore.
Shlomo is a trailblazer.
Yeah.
A
Tebow really
trailblazer.
should have thanked him because he did excellent work on my roof.
Yeah, did excellent work on, I think, Tebow's deck.
Yeah.
And did it all while dealing with the inherent bigotry of the carpentry industry.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And Tebow's own comparison to the only other Jewish carpenter Tebow knows. Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah,
so
he
he
was
was
carpentry
carpentry,
too.
Yeah, so if
he
he's
is.
constantly comparing Shlomo to Jesus, that's
Yeah.
not quite fair.
No, not to Shlomo at all.
He cleared. Don't worry, all is not lost for Tim Tebow. Every cloud is a silver
Okay.
lining. He cleared waivers on Sunday. He's a free agent. He can go anywhere he wants.
There we go.
Freedom. All of those conservative people who like Tim Tebow's religious roots got to be happy right now because Tim
Yeah.
Tebow has freedom.
Absolute freedom. He said, "I will remain relentless. I will remain in relentless pursuit of continuing my lifelong dream of being an NFL quarterback." He wrote on Twitter.
He has been an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, in
Well, like
fairness,
forever?
Tim,
Is
it's
that his
not
dream?
so much a pursuit anymore as you're trying to get back to a place that you've already been.
It still sounds a little bit like a 14-year-old's book report, you know, like. And when I grow up, I want to be a basketball player. It will be fun, and I will play a lot of games.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Very good. D-.
What did Bob Kraft have to say? What did the owner of the Patriots have to say?
Macaroni and cheese is delicious. Buy Kraft.
I love Tim Tebow, and I very much wanted him on the team, Kraft said in an appearance on CBS's This Morning. If you look, four of the last 5 years, though, we've only carried 2 quarterbacks. Unfortunately, it was not pointed out to Kraft that not cutting Tim Tebow would not have changed that.
Yeah.
If Tebow doesn't hook on with another NFL team, he could go, hypothetically, to the CFL, the team that holds his negotiating rights. We've covered it, the Montreal Alouettes. However, they said, "We haven't spoken to Tebow or his representative." This is general manager coach Jim Pop, according to the Toronto Sun. And he said, adding Tim would to the team would means the team would have to change its entire system for Tim. Doesn't look like the Alouettes are going to do in that.
Well, did you hear that other quote from Jim Pop?
What's that? However, there is nothing to suggest the Omaha Beef of the Arena Football League are not interested. We don't have any news from them yet, but nothing to suggest they're not interested.
No beef?
Nothing.
No beef.
They got no beef.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update, alert.
Tim Tebow, update, watch, update, flulert. Damn it! Brought to you by
Mentos, feel the rush in your mouth alert.
I can't lose this job.
Oh, jeez, and there he goes.
That's middle drop, guys. Done.
Roy.
No,
He's
guys.
fucking done.
I think
Don't
hate him.
make
Get
me
him the
fire
fuck outta
Roy.
here.
Well, yeah, who's you know him the best. You're the guy that sees him after work. You guys are always getting chummy.
That's why I can't. I'm trying. Oh, God.
Well, what do we got in the show today?
All right. Well, we've got a vocal coach to female tennis stars, Buxtable Bumblebee.
Say
Buxtable
what?
Bumblebee.
Buxtable Bumblebee is his name.
That is not. It's a man.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a man. He's
it
a
only
vocal
female
coach
tennis
to
stars?
female tennis stars. We're going to hear a little bit about his job, Buxtable Bumblebee.
Okay. We also have one Chad Gryzynski. He's an NFL analyst.
Why are we booking people with names like this?
What?
Are there no normal people with normal
Gryzynski
names?
is
with
a
great
perfectly
jobs.
normal Polish name.
Yeah.
There's a surprising number
And
of Poles on our
Buxtable
show.
Bumblebee is a
say-
really good Dr. Seuss name.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Surprising number of Poles. Also, the last name just doesn't quite jive with the Chad. Chad, not a very Polish name.
Well, you know, he's like third generation.
Yeah.
They're not
It's
sticking to
American.
the-
It's his heritage.
yeah, they're not going to call him Omar Gryzynski just because he's, parents were sons of.
All right.
son
Well,
of-
what the hell is he
Anyway,
going to be here
he's
for?
a former NFL quarterback, current NFL analyst, here to talk to us about Michael Vick, who he thinks has gotten a real short straw from the
that's too bad.
analyst community.
All right. Well, that'll be interesting. He's always, he's gotten a new system for Chip
Oh,
Kelly.
yeah. And then new Chip Kelly. So we'll see how.
We'll have news. And Phil,
Yep.
do we have a weird sport?
Oh, you're goddamn right we do.
All right. Let's get started.
Yep. News on the Sports Podcast with Jordan, Joel, and Phil.
News. LeBron James is producing a sitcom for Starz entitled Survivor's Remorse. Subheadline: Project leaves Starz with buyer's remorse.
Oh!
Meow my myself, bad kitty.
When I missed season 2 of Survivor, I also had survivor's remorse. It was pretty bad.
That was actually, I don't know. See, that was a good season.
Yeah,
too. That was when
that was
the concept
Elizabeth
was fresh.
Hasselbeck was on that season.
Yeah, the concept
Was
was
she
fresh.
already married to Tim Hasselbeck?
I don't know.
Think it's just her last name.
Yeah, I think it's just.
Wait. No, I could swear.
I don't know
one of
that
the
much about
Hasselbecks.
Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
News,
Joel.
news,
The one who was
news.
on The View?
Yeah, she was first on Survivor.
Oh, so is she married to Tim Hasselbeck?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm so glad we took this digression.
Yes.
LeBron
Matt
James
Hasselbeck.
will be one of the executive producers on the show, which will explore the lives of two men from the streets who attain fame.
Yeah.
One is an NBA star,
Whoa.
and one is not. It's
Wait.
a perfect odd couple.
It is. Like, one is, like, talking about NBA stuff to the star, and the other one is not.
Oscar, you left your basketballs laying around again.
You're only angry because you're not.
I love the show already.
The show writes itself. It
And,
really does.
and basically, it's about how they deal with families and friends in the wake of that success. If the main now they've said the main character isn't LeBron, but if he's anything like LeBron, he will allow a bunch of buddies with high school diplomas and little else to run his career. As I joke about this, I realize that that's the case, and they've done pretty well. Then again, his group of friends are basically a metaphorical Phil Jackson amalgamation, and LeBron James is a singular embodiment of the Chicago Bulls or the Los Angeles Lakers.
Take it
Did
back
you follow
to your
that?
liberal arts college.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Kind of?
Because they've been steering his career. His career has been amazingly successful.
Yeah. But, I mean, doesn't a lot of that have to do with the fact that he's just an insanely good basketball player?
Did you follow they're the Phil Jackson to his Chicago Bulls and Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, okay. All right.
I still don't
that's a
get
good
it.
analogy.
It was, you know what? It
took
was
me
apt.
a minute. It took me a minute to catch up, but I got there.
It was apt.
I'm saying it's good.
The show is based in North Philadelphia instead of Akron.
Born
'cause
and
Ohio
raised on the
sucks.
playground is where I spent most of my days.
But then what happened?
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing out, cooling out, shooting down, b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys, they were not, started making trouble in my neighborhood. Right? Pretty much the premise of the show. Same deal.
One of the longtime friend and business partner, Maverick Carter, says it's in North Philadelphia instead of Akron because more people can relate to it, meaning of Philadelphia.
Really?
We actually have some early log lines. NBA player gets bad advice from his friends who have no formal business training. But because he's an NBA star and a millionaire, in the end, the bad advice is really no big deal. One of NBA players' poor friends breaks an ancient Grecian vase at a rich friend's house.
I like it already.
But because he's an NBA star and a millionaire, he's able to buy the same ancient Grecian vase on eBay for thousands of dollars. And in the end, his poor friend breaking the rich friend's vase was really no big deal. We have one more. His NBA player accidentally schedules 2 dates with 2 different women on the same night.
What?
But because he's an NBA star and a millionaire, he doesn't try to juggle both dates, but instead tells them the truth. This results in an epic threesome. And in the end, the scheduling snafu was just no big deal.
Wow.
And a great idea.
Right.
Yeah. And the theme
Sounds
song
like a
is,
fascinating-
oh yeah, oh yeah. And he's got a friend, Johnny Dribble. It's Entourage references. Thank you, Joel.
No, I stopped watching after, like, the 3rd season.
Those were pretty nuanced references, so.
Yeah. All right. Notre Dame souvenir cups have spelling error. So
What?
let's pile on. This has been everywhere in the news and on the internet.
Ah.
But, you're on the internet, Phil.
I'm on the internet, but I do not follow sports news.
This was a meme. This was a meme that crossed into the general news section. People who were just like, I just want some general news.
So what was misspelled?
Well, there was souvenir cups at this past weekend's Temple Notre Dame game at Notre Dame Stadium that had a spelling error that was nearly as embarrassing as killing a kid by misusing a scissor lift. But not quite.
You're not going to let that one go, Jordan.
No, I'm not. They killed the kid. The 50-ounce souvenir cup said Fig Thing Irish instead of
What?
Fighting Irish. See, they missed an H. Fig Thing Irish
Fig Thing Irish.
instead of Fighting Irish.
No. This is they're referring to the classic Irish rite of Glutenwas, which is a fig festival that they hold in Dublin. Obviously, they didn't remember the name of that, so they called it a fig thing.
I think they wanted to say Newton Irish, but they couldn't remember what it was called, so they just called it the Fig Thing.
University spokesperson Dennis Brown said the mistake would be corrected before the next home game. He also
good.
He also borrowed a line from Catholicism's handling of sexual abuse by priests and added, "It's an institutional responsibility. we're not going to be blaming individuals. Typical Catholic move.
Makes sense.
Even if he wanted to, blaming an individual may prove difficult. Brown went on to explain that he's never actually met any representative from the company who makes the cups. He's actually only chatted with him online, and wouldn't you know it, he just died of cancer.
Oh. Spell check should have gotten it.
Yeah.
Yell at the paperclip.
First, power rankings released. You ready for these?
Go power rankings.
NFL, ESPN's NFL Power Ranks.
Nuclear, hydro, solar, wind, natural gas, last place coal.
Damn it, Joel. God.
This actually was my joke, Phil. It was just I was throwing
Joel, I am good. Oh, God, Joel.
Now, welcome to the studio, Chad Gryzynski.
It's Gryzynski.
Gryzynski.
You can call me Chaz.
Now, you're a former NFL quarterback,
Yep.
and you're now an analyst for NFL Network? Is
Yeah.
that- okay, perfect.
Good job.
I do NFL this late evening / early morning.
Okay, all
It's on
right.
it's on at 4:30 a.m.
That is very late.
That is
slash,
very early.
Slash early.
Yeah.
It's
The
me
spin
and
doctors would say it ain't late, it's early.
Ooh,
Early.
spin doctors were always right. Prophetic.
Yeah.
it's me and Eddie Murray doing the hosting. You know, the former kicker.
That's
Right,
wonderful.
for the Lions.
For the Lions,
I know
yeah.
that the 1991 Lions, Tecmo Super Bowl.
So now-
YouTube.com/comedypodnet.
Thanks, Phil. So, but you wanted to talk quarterbacks, and you specifically wanted to talk about Michael Vick.
Yeah,
And
I really do.
And I guess my question for you is, what can we say that hasn't already been said about Michael Vick?
Well, I think there's one particular piece of information that has been flying under the radar here. A lot of people look at Michael Vick and they say elite athlete has not been such a great quarterback. They look at his passing statistics and say pedestrian at best.
That's true. And
Career 56.3% completion percentage.
Yeah.
7 yards per attempt.
Sure.
Only thrown 123 touchdowns. A lot of people are down on him there. But here's what I think is not being said about Michael Vick. Every single pass that he has thrown in his NFL career, every single pass, he has thrown with his left hand. Okay?
Yeah.
The numbers that he has put up, I mean, quite frankly, pedestrian for a quarterback throwing with their right hand like they normally would. But for Michael Vick to be throwing with his offhand, his
Wait,
left
can I-
hand,
can I
his
interject?
entire career.
well,
Are there many left-handed quarterbacks? Is it not a common thing?
there aren't.
What do you mean by left-handed?
Oh, I mean like the people, quarterbacks who would
they
throw.
throw
with
You
with
their
mean
their
like
left hand.
when Michael Vick is on the field, he is left-handed because he's opting to use his left hand.
No,
a
no,
feat
no.
of skill that I don't think is appreciated. Okay,
No,
Chad,
Michael
it's
Vick
not-
throwing lefty and putting up these numbers may be more impressive
I
than
see the
Peyton
issue
Manning
here. I
throwing
see the
righty.
issue.
No, he's left-handed. He predominantly uses his left hand. He's a left hand. He was born
I'm not sure I
left-handed.
follow.
He was born with his left hand as the dominant hand. Like he writes with his left hand.
What?
He probably
writes with his
probably
left hand?
Jerks it with his left hand.
What? Whoa! He
Not
writes with
necessarily.
his who writes and jerks off with their left hand?
Well, sometimes I jerk off with my left hand. I call it the sleeper. It's because it's
No,
it's-
we're
feels
not
like
going
it's someone
there.
else. Okay.
No, we're gonna get because Brian. God, I'm so
Chaz,
flustered
you
right
can
now.
call me Chaz.
Chad, Chip Kelly. I almost said Brian Kelly. Chip Kelly's in. He's gonna do a whole system there, and
Yeah.
maybe Michael Vick will be better.
Well, he taught him. He taught
But-
Michael Vick how to hold the ball,
That's
presumably
right.
with his right hand.
no,
No,
he's
that wouldn't be true.
left-handed. That's his dominant hand.
So
7% of the population is left-handed. Chad.
wait, what?
Yeah, haven't you ever watched a baseball game? Plenty of left-handed
You
pitchers.
mean there's other people out there walking around using their left hand?
Yes,
for
it's
stuff?
not weird at all. Yeah, you people are left. Michael Vick is left-handed. I'm Jerry Seinfeld now. Jesus.
Yeah.
So there's
and when you
just-
touch yourself with your left hand,
No,
it also
no,
feels like
no. We're no.
So there's
But it
just
does-
there's people out there who are we're just using their left hand for.
That's
for stuff.
right. So his passing statistics, you could compare them to a right-handed quarterback because a right-handed quarterback is using his dominant hand.
I'm gonna be honest. You guys are blowing my mind right now.
You really want to have your mind blown tonight. Put some lotion on your left hand, and just go and give it a little
hey,
touch.
look,
and-
Phil.
yeah.
Give it a rest. I'm going to try it. all
Okay,
right?
phew, okay.
You've sold me.
All right.
God, I'm kind of embarrassed. That was my whole
Well, do you
thing
have
was how
anything else to
impressive-
say about Michael Vick? He's an elite athlete. He's very mobile.
I mean,
He's in a new offense with Chip Kelly.
I have a lot of different thoughts about Michael Vick now. I'm just a lot less impressed by his quality of play because I thought he was throwing lefty the whole time because just as like a way to show off.
Right,
it's like a trick.
but get off it. He's got a new offense. They're going to be doing up-tempo stuff. Can you tell me?
I honestly have nothing to say about that. I was really just focused on the fact that he was using his left hand.
Oh my
So
God, Chad.
why do you think he's so bad?
I don't know.
Do you think he's been dogging it this whole time?
Hey, wait a second. Wait a second. Well, you know what? I was gonna make an announcement. We could probably skip it at this point.
Well, no, please. We're wrapping this up soon, but please make your announcement.
Well, I was gonna tell you guys about this new team that I was gonna come out with. They were gonna tour and put on like show football games. I was gonna call them the Tribeca World Joggers. And,
this is like the Harlem Globetrotters, is what you're saying.
I guess you could say somewhat similar.
Sounds very similar to
Okay,
what the Harlem
but it was
Globetrotters.
gonna be a team that played left-handed football.
That was their trick. They would they do any cool
and
tricks?
I guess
with-
they were occasionally going to throw glitter on people, but
Now that sounds like a great show.
mostly left-handed football.
But you could only tell that the quarterback was left-handed. You couldn't tell that any of the linemen were left-handed. The running back was left-handed.
And the center. You could tell that the center was
Maybe,
left-handed.
yes, maybe the
And
center.
that the kickers were going to use their left
I guess the
foot,
punter.
and the
The
punter,
kicker would use their left foot.
and then maybe
Would they? Can you be left-footed?
Phil, don't even start right now, please.
No, can you though?
Please, for the life
That
of
would be
me.
weird. If I kicked with my left foot, it wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, okay. I'm just beginning to wrap my head around this whole left-handed thing. Are you telling me there's people who are left-footed too?
You should see what some people can do with their left foot and a bottle of lotion. Joining us now on the podcast as Phil goes out for burritos is Buxtable Bumblebee, who is a vocal coach to female tennis players. Is that correct?
Hello, Joel and Jordan. It is a pleasure to be here today.
Yes, hello. Buxtable.
Yes.
Interesting name.
Buxtable. You have to pronounce all
Buxtable.
of the consonants.
Can I-
Buxtable.
Can I call you Buxy?
Buxtable Bumblebee.
Can I call you Buxy?
I would prefer Buxtable.
Okay.
Buxtable.
What would a
Buxy.
women's...
Whoa, 1 second. We got a
No.
I am a
no.
vocal coach to female tennis stars.
What is the origin of your family name? Where are you
Buxtable?
from originally that you would be named Buxtable Bumblebee?
Well, I'm from England originally,
and
where everyone is named Buxtable.
and your family was beekeepers in the Middle Ages. Is that
Why? Because of my last name, Bumblebee.
that's why else would you be named?
I changed my last name to Bumblebee to make sure people are pronouncing their B's properly. Buxtable Bumblebee.
So it is still a bee thing.
Oh, it's still a B thing, yes.
Yeah.
Do you know that B is the most commonly mispronounced consonant?
I did
I'm-
not know that.
You
You would only
by
learn that
I'm
as a
baffled by
vocal
that.
coach.
What does a vocal coach do?
Oh, a
Yeah.
vocal coach.
I didn't finish.
I got very excited.
For a vocal coach, you don't pay attention to me speaking very well.
I'm not a listener, I'm a speaker.
That's fair.
Okay.
Okay, fine. First question: what does a vocal coach do?
Are you teaching him
And
accents
then
or something?
follow-up question: what would you do with specifically female tennis players?
Jordan, speaking is very important.
Yes.
Some do it every day. Some less often, but I recommend it. So, in order to properly pronounce your consonants and vowels is a way to properly communicate with your fellow man. In tennis, it is very important for females to have the proper tenor and decibel of grunts.
You teach grunting.
I teach grunting to female tennis players, yes.
Well, that doesn't seem to be something that you
That
need
doesn't
to coach.
seem to be something. You missed the B.
That doesn't seem to be something.
Much better.
Thank you. That you'd need help with.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, Jordan. It's something that you need help with. Do you know how unintimidating a common grunt sounds? When you have a lazy tongue when you're grunting?
Could you please give me an example?
An example.
An example of a lazy, poor grunt.
Well, that'll be very difficult for me because I only have strong grunts. But I'll try one. Here's what I would consider to be a weak grunt. This is what Steffi Graf sounded like before I had a chance to work on her. Meh.
That's the sound that she naturally
That's
made
the
when she
sound
was swinging.
naturally made while swinging her racket. Yes.
That is unbelievable because everything that I've seen when I watched the old tennis matches between Steffi Graf, I remember in the 90s on SportsCenter, the grunts were quite audible. They were
You're
very
welcome.
loud.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Have you heard her grunts now sound like this? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I
Just
don't know
like that.
where she's doing these grunts because she's retired, but
Well, she was doing those grunts when she was playing tennis, Joel.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
a
so-
strong grunt. We emphasize the yeah at the beginning of her grunt to make people think of Japanese warriors.
Is that in the back of the throat?
It is. It actually comes from the back of your nose and the back of your throat at the same time. The air conflicting in the back of your throat creates a yeah sound.
Okay. Are there any current tennis players that you work with?
Any current tennis players that I
before
work
we do
with?
that, I do think, well, we got to talk about Monica Seles. Was she one of yours?
Monica Seles, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Monica Seles was one of mine.
She had that, I mean, Monica Seles was, I mean, she was the first big grunter.
Oh,
She
you
did
should
that-
have heard her when I first took her under my wing.
Because she got to like a,
That's
like
very
every time,
close.
yeah.
Originally, she sounded like this. Mm. Mm.
sounds,
That was the
sounds like an
sound of her
autistic
grunt.
cow.
That sounded like her grunt. By
like
the
an
end, she went, bah!
That's
Bah!
Monica Seles had a very distinctive
Yes, she
grunt,
did. It
and
went-
it was not that.
Bah! When she was at her best, Joel, that's what she sounded like.
Ah, she was.
It may not have been picked
Oh,
up
you've
on the
seen
microphone.
Latter Day. You saw Latter Day Celis, yes. It did evolve when it wasn't any longer under my tutelage, and that's when her career started going. When she did the double grunt, I said, oh, leave the fans wanting more, Monica.
Wow.
Have you two ever heard of the Williams sisters?
Of course,
yeah,
they're the most
obviously, yeah.
famous tennis players out there today.
I worked on Venus.
Okay.
Yes, Serena, she refused my help. Where is she now?
She's the best tennis player in the world.
Nope, she sounds like this. Buh.
Dude, that's
Buh.
I don't remember hearing her make that
Buh.
sound.
That is a weak grunt.
It's really hard for me to believe that these are sounds that they're making while they're making an aggressive tennis swing.
Well, the thing is, we're not there to hear, and I think how we hear it on
Yeah,
the
but I'm
television is completely
still-
different from being in the court. Am I right?
Yes. Have you ever seen one of those teenage movies where the girl takes off her glasses and undoes her ponytail and becomes a beautiful prom princess?
Of
She
course.
was, she was an extremely attractive girl before she. I mean, I hate those movies because it's
Joel, you're
like,
ruining
oh,
this for me.
okay,
I
fine.
do that with lady throats. Lady throats, when I get to them, look like a dopey girl with glasses.
So if it's a lady throat, when you get in there,
I take off those glasses.
okay,
Perhaps you've heard of Anna Kournikova?
yeah.
Yes.
You should have seen how disgusting she was when I first took her in.
Well, she's beautiful. She's well
No,
known
she
for
was
being
wearing
more
overalls and
beautiful
had a
than good.
big pudgy paunch. And I said, there's only one way for you to get your confidence. And that's with a good grunt. Originally, she sounded like this. Awooga. Awooga.
I have a hard time.
She was a foghorn.
That's what she sounded like, yes.
don't-
horn
By the
on a
end, I said,
1930s
you
Packard.
can do sexier than that. You're going to intimidate your opponents with a sexy grunt. And by the end, she did this. Ah! 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 Did you hear how it came from the nose?
Yeah,
you can
I
almost
don't-
hear it from her vagina. That's how
I-
sexy it was.
I don't doubt that she made that noise. I do
don't
doubt that it ever happened in a tennis
doubt
court.
that she made that noise.
Don't even start
I
with me.
don't
I'm not
doubt.
going to.
I don't doubt.
I don't doubt.
He's trying to help you, Joel.
No, Jordan. Don't
Joel,
He's
you could be a
trying to help
very
you,
could
Joel.
be a very good tennis player if you just took my tutelage.
I think it's not an issue with the grunting. I think I'm going to be a bad tennis player whether I grunt well or not.
That's what Billie Jean King said.
And what difference did the grunting make for the players that you taught?
Obviously
what
not that great
difference
for
did
Anna
it make?
Kournikova because she never won a major tournament.
She didn't need it. She sold calendars. We were working on a sexy grunt.
He's got a point there, Joel.
Yes.
Well, okay, you're fine, but he's sitting here claiming that the grunting is helping them win tennis matches.
It does. Look, imagine you're a female opponent. You're from the Midwest, maybe Russia. You're scared. People are watching you. You're saying, is my body good enough? How does my hair look? Is my backhand going to fail me?
I don't feel like
And
they're
then-
that worried about their body and their hair. These are professional athletes. They're probably mostly focused in tennis.
Now imagine that somebody comes to the other side of the court against you.
Yeah, as they would in a tennis match.
Yes, they would.
As they would.
And then they come to the other side, and they undo their racket from its little casey thingy, and they let out a bellow that only the gods can hear. Oh! 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 You're not hitting that serve back, are you? No, you're frightened. You're saying, is my supple prepubescent body ready to take that kind of serve?
I don't think so.
You're not. And that's when you drop your racket and say, Buxtable, make me a tennis star.
Well, Buxy, it's been great to have you on the show.
Call me Buxtable, please.
Buxtable, thank you very much for coming on the show.
On the show.
The show.
Very good. Thank you for
Are
being here.
Such a suck up, Jordan.
Hey, there's a lot I can learn from this guy.
You're welcome. For you, the listeners of Sports Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I personally recommend a wonderful book called The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Joel saw the movie. He said that it was okay. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network. Again, that's audibletrial.com/comedy podcast network for your free audiobook. And now it's time for another Weird Sports! Weird Sports.
What do we got?
This week's Weird Sport, Buzkashi.
Ooh.
Say, Phil.
It's got booze in it,
What's
right?
Buzkashi?
Buzkashi is also known as cockpar.
What?
Cockpar.
Cock what?
Buzkashi or cockpar.
Cockpar? Does it
Cockpar.
involve
Cockpar.
roosters and golf?
Buzkashi or cockpar is a Central Asian sport played amongst Kazakhs, Afghans, Uzbeks, Hazaras, Tajiks, Kyrgyz, no vowels in that one, Turkmens, or Pashtuns.
So that's probably about the
like
funnest part of
Gryzynski.
Asia. The
Right.
most fun part of Asia.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is the sport they're playing.
It's Middle East light. A lot of these countries. Middle East light.
They're not anything like them. I mean,
What? Afghans? Turkmens?
Yeah, but they live in mountainous regions in Central Asia.
Kyrgyz?
Not
Oh,
the
Kyrgyzstan.
Arabian-
I get it.
Yeah.
The Turkish name of the game is Kakboro. Kak meaning blue and boro meaning wolf,
Blue wolf?
denoting the gray wolf. Seems like they would have gone with the word for gray and wolf.
But
Went with blue.
We're not Turkish, so what do we know?
That's the holy symbol of the Turkish people.
The gray wolf?
Yeah.
They named their sport after it? So that would be like Catholics all getting together and playing Jesus ball?
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oh, they give it a color though, like green
Oh,
Jesus.
yeah.
The green Jesus.
Want to go play some green Jesus?
Do I ever?
Yeah.
Other Turkish names of the game are Ulak Tartish, Kukparay, Kokberu, and Ulak Tirtish.
Phil, can you tell us anything about the game other than names?
No, those are just, they sound Klingon. I like that. They sound like Klingon names. Ulak Tirtish. In the West, the game, which is also played by the Kyrgyz Turks, who migrated to Utum Pamir village in the Van district of Turkey from the Pamir region.
Yeah. We
The
all know
van
that.
district
Phil. You don't
is
have to.
where you go to get the best deals on used vans.
Right.
You get a 95 Caravan in there.
Look, Phil,
100,000 miles.
Ooh,
Obviously,
rev it up.
we're familiar with the different regions of Turkey and their history.
Fine,
Could you
we'll
get on
to
the sport?
Yes, Buzkashi is often compared to polo. Both games are played between people on horseback. Both involve propelling an object towards the goal, and both get fairly rough. Bet you didn't know that.
Polo gets rough.
However, polo is played with a ball, and Buzkashi is played with the headless goat carcass. So there's that.
You know, I had read about this actually.
Have you? Well, why don't
there was
you do
some
the
sort of
rest of
sport
Weird
played on
Sports?
horseback involving a goat carcass?
Sure.
I mean, they've seen balls, right?
Yeah, and this is it's
And they're opting to play with the goat carcass.
right. It's like goat carcass, as in legs. It's got a body. It's
Yep.
just a headless goat carcass.
Do you have? Do
Why
you
not
have
the head?
Right, the head seems more like a ball.
Yeah. Do you have like hammers like in polo? Or are you whacking around the goat carcass with?
Well,
like,
let's go
like
down
sticks or
to
something?
rules and variations, right?
I feel like I always ask questions that I'm not supposed to ask at the time that I ask them. I feel
That's
like we're
because
80 episodes in or whatever it is to Weird Sports, and I'm still doing it.
That's because you like to jump the goat carcass. Competition is usually fierce. Prior to the establishment of official rules by the Afghan Olympic Federation, the sport was
Oh,
mainly...
good! They finally hammered that out.
Right?
Their country's been at war for the last 100 straight years.
But this is
but
what they're
they've
concerned
nailed down the rules to goat carcass polo. Boom! Done. Taken care of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I wish
Well,
they would have covered that in Charlie Wilson's War.
Right? Exactly.
one would think so, right? One would absolutely think so. So, the rules of the game. The ground has to be a square layout with each side of 400 meters long. Team consists of 10 riders. 5 riders from each team can play in a half. The total duration is 45 minutes a half. There's a 15-minute break between the two halves for Orange Slice and Evian. The game is supervised by a referee, and based on the referee's decision, a rider can be substituted during the game, usually in cases of injury. Not for the goat, for the people.
Okay.
All right. How would I score a point?
All right, so...
There's no points. You're just whacking the goat
Right,
carcass
just-
around.
They also call it wacky goat.
They take a different approach to sport in Central Asia.
It is also prohibited to ride towards the spectators and or receive spectator assistance or to start a cockbar game without giving an oath to play justly.
There's oaths?
Yeah.
There's oaths in this game?
You got to give an oath
And
that
wait,
you're going to play
what if-
justly.
What if your goat carcass it's like flung and lands right in front of the stands? If you're not allowed to ride towards the spectators, is it just gonna sit there the whole time?
Yeah.
Do you gotta go like a loop, like way around, like come way down when you're wide of the fans, and then come back? And then...
Joel, I'm pretty sure they got out of bounds.
Okay.
All right. Buzkashi, or cockbar player, is called a chapandaz or shabandaz in Kazakhstan. Kazakh. It is mainly believed in Afghanistan that a skillful chapandaz is usually in his 40s.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
Experience.
Yeah, this is based on the fact that the nature of the game requires its players to undergo severe physical practice and observation. Similarly, horses used in Buzkashi also undergo severe training and due attention. A player
This is a thing. People are putting.
they serious.
This is not like hey, what are you doing this Sunday? Nothing. Why don't we knock the old goat carcass around for a little bit?
No, you got to
at
have time for an oath. You got to work in that.
Right.
Yes.
You got to have the right kind of horses. You got to train.
Right, and the player does not necessarily own the horse. Horses are usually owned by landlords and highly rich people, wealthy enough to look after and provide for training facilities for such horses. However, a master chapandaz can choose to select any horse, and the owner of a horse usually wants his horse to be ridden by a master chapandaz, as a winning horse also brings pride to the owner. Kind of like a son who ain't a pussy. Same deal. The game consists of 2 main forms, Tebow and Karjai. I'm not going to go through these because they're pretty much the same except for...
we still don't know how you score.
Yeah, I don't know how to play, Phil.
Oh.
I know what the game is called 5 different ways.
Okay, I'm going to sum this up really easily. You know polo?
Yep.
It's that with a dead goat carcass. There's goals, you hit it down, you whack it with a hammer. I'm not even going to go through the whole section where they talk about it. It's the same thing. When they say similar to polo, they shouldn't have said it. They should have just said funny name polo with a creepy goat carcass. They have a picture in the Wikipedia article of the goat carcass that looks like it's after the game. It's horrific. It looks like
God.
something like that picture. It looks like something that they show in Hostel when they want to show like the freaking tourist that got their face destroyed. It's really
What
weird.
happens if parts of the goat? I mean, what if the goat comes in twain because you've been whacking it with hammers all
Well,
day?
that actually consists of one of the 2 main forms, so maybe I'll go back to it. In the Buzkashi game, it's the goat is normally beheaded and disemboweled and has its limb cut off the knees. It makes it a bit more of a ball. Then it's soaked in cold water for 24 hours before it can play, so it toughens it. And then occasionally sand is packed into the carcass to give it extra weight. And players may not strap the calf to their bodies or saddles, though the goat is used when no calf is available and calf is less likely to disintegrate during the game.
Oddly enough, that's treated better than women in those societies.
Oh.
That's true. Zing indeed.
Ish.
And that brings an end to another Weird Sports!
Citizens of Podcast Town, this brings to the close another Sports podcast. But before we go, we're going to give you our contact information. But bringing us our contact information is Buxtable Bumblebee.
Thank you, Jordan. No, I appreciate it. Phil, get out of my way, please. You can email us at sportspodcast@gmail.com. That's sportspodcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at sports3podcast. That's sports3podcast. You can find us on Facebook by searching Sports Podcast in your little top bar thingy. You can find us on Stitcher Radio. Go to Stitcher.com today to download the Stitcher app and search Sports Podcast. You can find us on YouTube by going to youtube.com/comedypodnet in order to find all of our back episodes and also watch Phil play Tecmo Super Bowl as the 1991 Detroit Lions. You can find us on iTunes by searching Sports3 Space Podcast. That's Sports3 Space Podcast. And while you're there, please rate and review.
Oh,
I slipped.
Buxy.
I slipped. My tongue is getting lazy. Or you can find all of our back episodes at comedypodcastnetwork.com. Goodbye.
Thank you, Buxtable.
That was really good.
He's great.
I'll give up my mic anytime to that guy.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to make you guys stay here for this. Hey, Roy, can you come in here, please?
No, I don't want to stay for this.
No, I don't want to stay either.
Roy, update, watch, update.
No.
Hey, listen, Roy, I hate to tell you this, but we're going to have to go a new way. We're going to have to let you go. That's bad. Roy's lonely. Roy's unemployed. Roy doesn't know what to do.
Third-person thing. I hate it.
Hey, listen.
Get
you wanna
out
just
of here,
rub it in?
Roy.
No, look.
You're fired.
We're going to have to
Roy-
I want to call security.
No.
I'm better at this. You're
Roy
fired,
deserves
Roy.
better than that. Okay, Roy,
I
just
don't know that he does.
no. Roy, take the room. Okay, we're all gonna leave. You take the time that you need in here. We trust you. You were a great employee. It's just when you leave, could you turn the lights off?
You have received this transmission from the Comedy Podcast Network. For more shows, visit comedypodcastnetwork.com.